this is a guy, I mean, that has done so much work, has put in so much blood, sweat, and tears into the sport, and we're talking about a guy who ran the 140 division, you know? I mean, ran through it like a house, like he was a burglar, and they stripped him of the WBC title not once, but twice, you know? Once because he didn't fight Alexander, then he fought him and beat him, and then once because he was promised a $1.3 million purse to fight anybody, and he did not fight, I guess, Amir Khan, so they stripped him again. And, you know, he moves up and fights Manny Pacquiao and wins. It's like, sometimes it feels like the sport is against him.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. That kid right there, I mean, he's been at the point where, you know, when you hear those words come out of his mouth and says, Coach, the sport that I've been in for the past 18 years, I'm losing the love for it. I'm losing respect to this. I'm losing respect and love for the sport that I've been doing for 18 years. I mean, that's bad. Because you know what? It's not his fault. He does everything right. He works. He trains hard. He prepares himself for fights, and he fights. And at the end of the day, he wins. And you know what? Who ruins it for you? The business people. The people on top. They're the ones that demoralize a lot of fighters. They are the ones that demoralize a lot of champions. And all the organizations, WBC, I mean WBO, you know what? The only organization that has stood by us 100% is WBO. Other than that, you know what? I'm telling you, honestly, straight from the heart. I mean, when I grew up as a kid, everybody. I remember myself, my brothers, Antonio, Julio. They were all champions. Julio was a 2-time IBF champion. Antonio was the IBA champion, WBO champion. And you know what? We always had a dream, man, to get that green belt, the green belt.
Yeah.
You know what? At this point of our lives, the green belt is nothing, man. Right now they got a bunch of paper champions with a green belt. I'm telling you. You know, I have no respect for the WBC organization. I don't care about it anymore. I don't. I grew up as a kid, looking up to one day, you know, becoming a WBC champion of the world or making a champion at WBC. But you know what, right now, I don't even care about the WBC. There's so much politics. There's so much drama in it. You know, they have so many paper champions out there in the WBC. They give that title to whoever they want. You don't even have to be ranked. They'll give it to you. Here, you deserve this. They'll give it to you. They put it in your hand. You don't even have to fight for it. You know?
Yeah.
At least the WBO, has been there for us, with me and Bradley. They've been there for us all the time. You know, they have supported us. You know, when they stripped Timothy from the WBC, you know, the WBO was always there. And you know, we thank WBO, and it's an organization that has backed us up 100%.
Yeah, you know, the WBC, they've been coming under a lot of scrutiny lately because in the late 70s, early 80s, even the 90s, you know, they were known as the most prestigious title that you can own. And some of the greats have fought with the WBC and won the title for the WBC. Your brother, who sought the WBC, you know, for many years, you know, the guy who owned the title didn't want to fight him. You know, I won't say any names, but we both know who he is. And they offered him another WBC title match, and it happened to be for the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world at the time, Shane Mosley. So, you know, the WBC is not what it used to be, and I understand that. I even heard in many places online or, you know, just throughout casual conversation that it's the biggest gang in boxing. They even protect their own.
They do. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of politics in that organization. And you know, honestly, like I see WBC titles, man. You turn your TV on and go to Fox Sports, and you see WBC, somebody fighting for the WBC, and I mean, in every network you see somebody fighting for WBC. Back in the early '80s, you know, it was like HBO pay-per-view, you know, something. A big fight, a big mega fight, somebody fighting for the WBC, Julio Chavez, you know, Mike Tyson, you know, stuff like that. And now just because somebody is undefeated and has been fighting a bunch of people from overseas, but has not fought nobody in the top 10, oh, he deserves a WBC. Here, you could have, and you have the diamond belt here. I mean, come on. I mean, nowadays, WBC is not in my goals anymore. I just want to keep winning, make sure my family's set. When I retire, I want to make sure that my kids are set and they don't have to go through all this bullshit that I'm going through. And you know what? Before, I trained my kid when he was little. When he was a little kid, he was a great little fighter. I wanted my son to be a fighter. I wanted my son to be a boxer. I wanted him to be a world champion. You know what? Right now, I tell him to play any other sport besides boxing.
Wow.
Play football, play baseball, play anything, but don't go to boxing. I don't want my son to go through this bullshit that I'm going through because of this politics. You win, and you never get credit for winning. On the other hand, the whole world is against you. They criticize you. They tell you that you just asking for this, you're asking for that, you don't deserve this. Well, I'm here, I'm working, and you know what? I don't care what people say about me. When I retire and people don't talk about me, that means that I'm done. I didn't do anything. But meanwhile, if they're talking good or if they're talking bad, that means I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Talking about me. I mean, I like it when people talk about me. If it's good or bad, to me, it benefits me. Keep talking.
Your DJ has only just begun.